Talk a little bit about the defense space. We have Harshit Kapadia, who's joining in now to give us his view. He's the Vice President, Industrials, Consumer Durables and Electricals and Renewables at Elara Capital. But today we've called him particularly to talk about the big surge that we've seen in the defense stocks. Harshit, good morning and thanks for joining in. You know, the government is doing a lot to push defense indigenization, localization of production, etc. And we have seen these stocks have a terrific time. So very quickly, before the market opens, if you can just summarize for us, what are the top stocks that you're looking at and which are the companies that could be big beneficiaries of the government push?
Good morning, Sonia. So in terms of top picks, on the large cap side, we prefer Hindustan Aeronautics because there could be much more surprise in terms of export is what we see apart from the indigenization. On the small and mid caps, we like GRSC and Bharat Dynamics is what we look at. With the story as far as there is a two-way one can look at it. Indigenization, both in terms of defense PSUs and small and mid cap defense private companies looks to be the biggest beneficiary when it comes to indigenization. The surprise element could be in terms of defense export because government is pushing a lot in terms of exports per se.
Harshit, hi, good morning. I think there was a recent notice, a circular, which said that for emergency purchases up to 300 crores per order, and the deliveries have to be made within a year or so. How large is that as an opportunity? I mean, have you looked at it in any detail? What could this mean?
So when we look at the opportunity size, the overall opportunity size as far as the defense goods is concerned is close to around 9 lakh crore, but it is spanning over next 10 years. This is more on platform side that we look at. And within that, there are components and subsystem which go into it, which will largely be the mid and small cap defense private companies which we'll be looking at. And government has come up with three lists where these would be beneficiaries.
No, my point specifically was with regards to emergency purchases. These are smaller, I mean, the big numbers, of course, are longer term plans. But does this mean, have you looked at this in terms of what could be the size of the opportunity with these smaller orders coming through?
So in terms of size, in terms of smaller orders, it could be somewhere in the range of 50 to 1 lakh crore is what we are looking at. But this is largely given by the private companies on the defense side, and they are still evolving. So some of them have reached a decent size, and some are still in the startup phase where things can run up significantly.
Okay. Apart from the out-and-out defense providers, right, whether it's Hindustan Aeronautics, BEL, BML, there are some of these other companies like the ancillary companies, right? So whether it's the electronic solutions company, something like a Data Pattern, there's MTAR Technologies, there's Astra Microwave, Taneja Aerospace. Which are the ones that have strong fundamentals and are solid balance sheets, which can be beneficiaries? So I'm trying to understand from a long-term retailer standpoint, which are the stocks?
So on the small and mid-cap side, we like Data Patterns, we like Paras Defense, we like Astra Microwave and Dynamic Technologies. Given that the product portfolio which they have, it's clearly aligned to more on indigenization, which government is trying to do. So these are the stocks that we like on this space.
So, some of these stocks like Data Patterns have already rallied about 50%, right, in the last 12 months. And they do have their own challenges like the semiconductor shortage, dependency on government orders, etc. Do you think it's still good to go for more, or would you be cautious after the run-up?
No, there is still upside left, but any meaningful downside in the stock is certainly a very good opportunity to buy, given that we are going to see an increased order inflows for these companies, and the project which they have undertaken with the government is actually now coming from development mode to production mode. So we are expecting a significant inflows for some of these needs.
Okay, just one quick word on MTAR Tech, since you said that that's also your top stock. Of course, the company does a lot of work in this entire space, right? Whether it's defense, clean energy, nuclear energy, etc. But they do have some pressure on their balance sheet. Their working capital days have gone up. Promoters selling a bit of stake. So is there a bit of concern here?
So there was a concern, but I think we are now relatively better off in terms of MTAR, what was there, maybe 6 months back. So right now we are seeing more things getting cleaner. They are adding more business opportunities. They recently mentioned in the call that they are looking at space as another opportunity. So they are further expanding their scope of work in each of the segments where they are operating. So there is more juice to be taken from the company.